Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Fourth Round Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Huck. With me, as always, Chris Marler. Chris, how are we feeling after a strong round of playoff games?
Well, I'm doing sober dry January. It's fucking terrible. It's Eddie. It's Prabuza Eddie's favorite holiday, and he can't even celebrate either. So that sucks. Tyler.
Today?
Yeah.
It's Jameis Winston's birthday. Yeah, he was born today. So
it's Gunnar Stockton and Kirby Smart's favorite holiday. That's for sure. I have it on good authority that both of them were at the Capitol on January 6th, 2020. That's a lie for sure. Dude.
January 6th, 2020 I wasn't that bad of a day.
Was it not? Was it 2021?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, January 6th, 2020 was great. Anyway, that game was tough for some reasons, but it was really cool. I got to go to the Sugar Bowl, and that game was electric to see firsthand. I feel bad because it was like I was so dejected from the Rose Bowl, but I wasn't that surprised. I hate to say it. Like I wasn't it wasn't that surprising. It was sad in some ways, but it was just kind of like, yeah, I mean, Indiana seems like they are who we might have thought they were. And then like I said, the Sugar Bowl was awesome. So that was fun. It was just a very long day. I missed the entire Oregon Texas Tech game. It was just a long day. How was yours? And also Stranger Things happened. Do you guys watch that?
I think I might be one of the only people that doesn't watch it, but I did watch the Oregon game, so there's that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, you didn't miss much on that one. I mean, 0 points for Texas Tech is a tough way to come out, and you're off your bye into the, first playoff game you've ever played in.
Yeah.
They haven't missed a beat. Seems like they're picking up every number one player at its particular position in the portal, so it's fine for them. They'll be right back there next year.
They were going to have Cam Coleman. They were like I jokingly said this. I was like, you should just make him tell you no. Like if he's going to visit, just don't let him leave. And then like I got a text from somebody that's like usually in the know, and they were like, so there's like rumors swirling around Lubbock that they're just not going to let him leave. And I was like, are you making fun of me? Or are you like, no, like that's like, because if you're Texas Tech, and we could start with the portal, wherever you want to go with it, but like if you're Texas Tech, it's like you've already paid $5 million for the quarterback. Money's not a real thing to you more than anyone. Like yeah. We talk about Nike money, but oil money is up there as well. And it's like, I do feel bad for Oregon in a way, because it gives a little bit of like the energy of like that episode of The Office where Michael's just getting birthday checks from his grandma because she has dementia, and Phil Knight's up there just like, did we win it? Did we win it yet? I'm like, no, Phil, we didn't. We need some more money. He's like, that's fine. Just take it out of the dresser. Like, okay.
It's a big game for Dan Lanning coming up here. The haters are starting to, get a little concerned about Dan's record in big games. I'm not a hater, but there are people out there.
That's wild. We are in an all-time overreaction time for people on social media. It's wild to me.
Yeah. Portal is, I don't know what the latest number is, but the last I saw was over 4,000 players.
I don't know the number is right now. I saw something that was like, here's what the total is from 2024 and 2025. I'm like, I don't even know what year we're currently counting, to be honest. So that doesn't really fucking help. I did see from just a number standpoint, day one, you had 3,753 players. That is up over 1,000 players from the year before. Remember, 2 years ago, it was 1,600, and we thought that was crazy. It was like, what? Yeah. 1,600 in the first day? And then last year, it was like 2,700. Then today, or this year, it was 3,700. It's over 4,000. I think I saw one of the numbers from last year, 2024, 2025. It was like 43, but 31 were scholarship players. So it wasn't like, I mean, it's still a lot either way, but it's roughly 31.5% of overall players in FBS that have left. There are in the SEC, as of today, 320 that entered. Almost all of them from Auburn, so they're carrying the weight of that. And then I think that LSU got a guy tonight, which was the 100th player they've signed. And that's the thing too, Tyler, is that like that's something that I've noticed over the past couple of years, where it's like for like Bama, for example, their first couple of years in the portal, they had lost like 96 players in over a 4-year span, and they brought in like 64. It was like you don't ever catch up. It seems like.
Yeah, it's I don't think you could be like making long-term plans as a coach these days.
Why
Like
would you?
a 3-year plan. I've been listening to a lot about this. I mean, just like any school, Florida State's having its issues of retaining players, and they're having more issues than they normally have because they've been so bad recently. But I mean, you've seen Florida State's had a player say he was going to the draft. Our NIL team met with him. He agreed to take his name out of the draft, but as soon as he did that, he hit the portal.
What? I mean,
it's just like you had some really good news for Florida State. They landed Trey Wisner from Texas. Great.
That is huge.
You know, he had over 1,000 yards rushing at Texas 2 seasons ago. A little banged up this year. He commits. Everyone's excited for 2 minutes. Then our 2 best D linemen hit the portal. They're twins, so they both go together.
That's hot.
It's just hard to follow. It's annoying, you know? It's just like, I don't know. I think we've talked about this before, but my favorite thing about college football since the beginning has always been just it felt different than a pro sport. Felt like, especially, you know, if you end up going to a school and, you know, you're sharing class with some of these kids and you feel like they're one of you, you know, and it's just a different feel than watching the NFL. Nowadays, it's just like, you know, people were talking about why would anyone transfer to Florida State right now that knowing the coach will be gone in a year. And it's like, well, they're probably planning on being gone in a year too. So they probably don't care.
That is the thing that they have not figured out yet, which is like you don't want it's just it was so bad for so long. It almost reminds me of like a fight you have with like a toxic girlfriend or something. What happened here? What are you doing? Booza, put it back. No, damn it, Booza. God damn it. It almost reminds me of like you ever been into if you don't get this off, God damn it. There you go.
All right, here we're back. We're back.
Have you ever had an argument with like a significant other and you say something along the lines of like I don't know, it just feels like you're being condescending, or it's like, fine, I'll just never say anything nice again. And you're like, that's not what I'm saying. Like, I'm not asking you to do that. So like the NCAA was basically like, well, here's the rules. No one's allowed to get paid. We're going to make so much money out of this. And also that scholarship is worth everything. And then like, well, but I don't know, man. It feels like maybe we should make some changes and someone should get paid. They're like, fine, then we'll just fucking let everyone get paid forever. And they can travel and transfer out as much as they want. And you're like, not what I asked for. Not what I asked for. Like, hey, I don't know, babe. We should talk to our guy from Instagram. Maybe I want to spice it up in the bedroom a little. That's not saying I want you to peg me at all. And we're getting pegged by the portal right now. That's clip it, Eddie. Pegged by the portal is the comment. Is the whole segment.
That's the name of the episode. Pegged by the portal.
Yeah.
And Bama got pegged by a bunch of portal guys on last week.
Oh, dude. It was so bad. I think it's just there's some good stories from it where it's like people want to make fun of TJ Finley, and I look at that, you know, like the guy he's going to his 7th school or trying to go to his 7th school, and I look at that differently, and I'm like, this is a guy that I know is not going to play professional football. He has 3 kids. He should go find a way to make money before he graduates. Like, absolutely go do that. And so I have no problem with somebody doing that. On the other side of it, I'm like, I don't know, man. Like some of these guys that are doing 4 high schools in 4 years and are now doing Bear Alexander from Oregon. That's a guy that was kind of similar to that. He's left everywhere he's been in 1 year. And then you want to sit here and be like, well, this is stupid. You're never going to get developed. But I saw today. So South Carolina had maybe the worst offensive line in the Power 4 for the last 3 years combined. and one of their starters entered the portal and he went to Nebraska. He's not ranked in the top 150 of portal players, and he's expected to be one of the highest paid offensive linemen in the portal. So it's like, why would, like, if you're in one place and it's like, yeah, okay, I could stay here and I'm going to make $400,000, but if I go somewhere else, I'm going to make 700. Like, a lot of us would have a hard time staying loyal for that decrease in pay. And it's like, so I get it, but it's very frustrating. It's not as it's not as much fun as it used to be.
For sure. And I mean, I think it's not always just the kids that are doing this. You've got these, we talked about it last week, these agents that are tied to them that, basically convince them, go to Hayes Fawcett, who we've had on this podcast.
Yeah.
He wouldn't reveal his face, but he was on here.
Voice we've ever heard in our lives.
And they're like, say that you're going to announce you're going to the portal, and then the school that you're at is going to be forced to pay you more. And it's just it's a never ending thing.
Dude, well, did we talk about Auburn last week? Some of the stuff, the intel I got from Auburn. There were guys that were telling Auburn coaches when Freeze was there on the way to Texas A&M. I'm not going to say who the player's name is, mainly because I forgot. But like on the way to Texas A&M, one of the defensive backs was like, "I'm not getting on this plane unless you give me $40,000." And they were like, "What the fuck are you?" He's like, "I'm not getting on this plane unless you give me $40,000." And Auburn gave him $40,000. He is in the portal and he is leaving. And like, there's another player from Auburn that I have on very good authority. One of the top players in the portal overall from him, not Cam Coleman, but a kid that I've been very high on since his freshman year, partially because of where he went to high school. That kid has been arrested 3 times, and Auburn just made it all go away. And now he was like, "You either pay me $1 million to stay for my junior year, or I'm fucking leaving." And he left, and now he's going to Ole Miss. And it's like, that's where some of it's like, it's so far. Like I hate giving the NFL credit for almost anything, but they have nailed this whole thing because it's like, all right, well, you come in, you play a certain amount of years, and if you do well, you'll get another payday. But you're giving out crazy amounts of money to unproven commodities and having rampant free agency every single year.
Well, what's even crazier now, which I don't know if everyone realized, and I don't think I quite realized it. So I knew that they took away that second portal window in the spring. But when this portal window ends here in the next 2 weeks, that is your set roster for next year.
Yeah.
Chris, Florida State has 3 D linemen on scholarship right now on the roster.
And here, you know what the scary part of it is, Tyler? Like, we have sat here and complained about the portal a bunch and the calendar more than anything, because it's like, well, what they need to do is not like Kirby Smart kept talking about this and was like, it's unfair to sit here and say, hey, Parlay P nails it. It's not sustainable. But like, it's like, it's unfair for somebody like Kirby Smart to say, okay, well, we're coming out of spring ball and I want to at least know what my fucking team is going into fall, like summer camp. Because now we have to have hands off and I got to go recruit. And like, that's this part of the cycle or calendar. And then we can't come back till fall camp and we don't even know who's on our team yet. What that gave way to in the spring window, because most of the people, just like early signing day, they did their whole thing where it was like, all right, almost every single one of them is going to sign. We're good to go. And then you'll have the February signing day for a handful of people.
Filling some holes, yeah.
Early portal was like everyone's going to that. And then you started seeing in the spring players, especially in G5 at certain positions, defensive line in particular, where it's like, okay, there's going to be a rash of either injuries in the spring or there's going to be teams that realize they don't have the depth they thought they had at certain positions, and they are going to be desperate and they are going to pay. There was a kid that came out of Toledo, I want to say. It was a MAC school 2 years ago. And he decided he was going to go in the spring window. And he was the top defensive lineman in the spring window. And he said, I'm going to go to either LSU or Miami. And he asked for $850,000 or $900,000 from LSU. And LSU was like, Dude, Will Campbell, the left tackle who got drafted 4th overall in the draft, he is the highest earner on this team, and that's exactly what he makes. We cannot, in good conscience, give you that amount of money and feel okay about it with a guy who's been here for 3 years versus a guy who's been here for 3 minutes. And so you already know what he did. He went to Miami, and then they paid him. So I guarantee you what you're going to see is everyone's going to they're going to find people to play. Like, they're going to find people to play. But now what you have to be worried about, Tyler, is, oh my God, Florida State has 3 defensive linemen on the team. You're going to have to find stuff on the last day. And now, by the way, they have the fucking leverage, and you're going to have to overpay for whatever's left.
Yep. And then, by the way, when you get that player, now that team that they just left at the midnight hour, now they're down linemen. It's just, and they don't have any time to go and try to replace that player. So it's just,
Right.
Dude, it's a mess. I mean, and
it's a mess.
I think the feeling about the negative feeling that everyone has about this right now is that I'm sure there's a few schools that feel great about the portal. Texas A&M, Texas Tech, any oil money school, Oregon.
Yeah.
Is that there's nobody in charge, and the numbers as far as viewership have never been higher. So what incentive is there to change any of this outside of the coaches bitching about it? I guess. I mean, no one feels bad for them either. They make $10 million a year.
They're millionaires. No one feels bad for millionaires.
No.
That's why people don't feel bad for us, dude, because we're so rich. Eddie gets it. Right. Shut up, Eddie.
So I don't know when it'll get fixed, but there has been a ton of movement. Obviously, quarterback's going to be the main thing. You're down in Baton Rouge right now. You were actually supposed to be at the basketball game tonight, but
Tyler threatened to quit the show, so we had to fucking do this tonight.
Who is at the game tonight for LSU? Speaking of portal.
Done.
Well, yeah, she's probably there. That's true.
No, she's not. Okay. Sam Leavitt, quarterback, Arizona State. Very handsome man.
Number 1 overall quarterback in the portal.
Yeah.
So it seems like, because he was down to LSU, Texas Tech. Obviously, Sorsby now goes to Texas Tech. Rumors are he's making upwards of $5 to $6 million for 1 year there. A guy that played for Cincinnati, he had a good season. They did go 7-6. So I don't.
Hell yeah, bro.
I don't think he's like any sort of great leader, but in
the Big 12. In the Big 12.
Yeah, right. You see, obviously, this was expected to happen, but Byron Brown goes from South Florida, follows Alex Golish to Auburn. Pete Thamel, I think, came out and said he's going to be one of the highest paid players ever in the NIL era.
Brown is?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
God, Auburn, come on, man. Make better choices.
Yeah. He's really good. I mean, now granted, he played in the G5, so it's a step up to go to the SEC, but makes sense. Follows his coach there.
They've had another problem there because it's like, I think that's kind of been the thing where it's like, there's just so many people that are willing to pay, and it's just very like it's I don't know, just the whole thing seems very weird. Tyler, how do you figure out a way to like, dude, like if you're, again, going back to the calendar, if you're a team in the playoff, like, how do you fucking have time to scout the portal? Because you technically don't know who's allowed to enter until January 2nd. There's announcements that are made, and I'm sure back channel conversations, but it's like, how do you take the time to scout all these? Dude, LSU has seven people, and they've got committed. They've got a kid from Charlotte, Hawaii, Utah that was redshirted this year. I don't even know how you do that.
Not to mention that the teams that are there in the playoffs now, but how about like Oregon? Both their coordinators are slated to become head coaches potentially like after this weekend at their new school.
Indiana by a fucking million.
And like Oregon, think about Will Stein going to Kentucky. Like they just like Kenny Menchie, the backup quarterback for Notre Dame, committed to Nebraska and was like set to go there and just went silent on them and then just his agent reached out and was like, "Yeah, we're going with Kentucky."
Because Kentucky threw more money.
And
I mean,
meanwhile,
also-
Will Stein's out here trying to like prepare for this juggernaut of a team called the Indiana Hoosiers.
How I can't. I have. There's a comment that was made in our own comments of the show that's like, "This is what happens with a free market with competition." I got like frustrated just reading that. I'm like, yeah, of course it is. Like my response to that wasn't going to be like a healthy, rational, or emotional response. My point is, if I'm Will Stein, or what's his name, right? Will Stein.
Yeah.
I am losing my fucking mind if Dan Lanning is like, "Hey, what do you got? What do you got on 3rd and short? Do we have enough on the play sheet for blah blah?" And it's like, I don't know, dude. Like, Dan, why don't you give me a fucking break? We're trying to pack. The U-Haul hasn't been ordered yet, and then also Kentucky's over here crying about we don't have a quarterback, and they're not giving me enough money because it's all on the fucking 9-6 basketball team. Like, I can't imagine handling any of this with grace at all, and it, not just for me, but it's like how. It very much feels like Kentucky's like, hey, like how are they handling it? Hey, Will. And know you're busy, not a big deal, but like we're trying to get this quarterback you've never heard of. He's at Notre Dame. If you could take a second out of trying to plan to play for a national championship, we'd really love your thoughts on getting the guy that'll help us go to 7-5 next year. Like what? Like what?
Well, LSU is doing the same thing. I mean, their coordinators are still at Ole Miss.
I don't even know.
And they've got, Sam Levitt's potential OC. Now, it's a little different because Lane Kiffin's kind of the guy there, but still. You got your prized quarterback recruit on campus right now, and your OC is in Oxford trying to get ready to play against Miami. I mean, it's a mess. But I think you're also seeing, too, like, if the quarterback's good enough, maybe it gives the head coach, when they're trying to find their next job, a little bit of a bump up if it's like, hey, the quarterback will come with me. I mean, think Auburn with Golesh, and you got Oklahoma State with Morris going from North Texas, and now you see they had a true freshman running back that was really good this year. He follows
He's one of the only 5
Morris,
stars
Oklahoma
in the
State.
portal.
The quarterback, Mestamaker, he was really good this year. Threw for, over 3,000 yards, 28 touchdowns. No, 4,000 yards, 34 touchdowns. I was looking at a different player. He goes to Oklahoma State. So it's like, and he was a freshman this year. So he'll have at least a couple years to be at Oklahoma State. So like, it's, look at Matt Campbell at Penn State. Like, pretty much Iowa State's entire roster just went to Penn State.
Oh, the copy and paste part of this is kind of hilarious, but I also will say it's worked. Like I mean, look at Indiana, and that's what Auburn's done. They have, I believe they have 9 commits so far. 8 of them are from South Florida. You saw that when Signetti had he went from JMU to Indiana. He brought 13 of his players with him from JMU. So like, it is something that can definitely happen. I don't know how sustainable any of it is. And like, frankly, it's like not something we're gonna fucking solve tonight anyway. I think who are the people you've been most. The Oklahoma State thing bums me out, and I don't care how it sounds, because it's like Gundy's gone. Our buddy Mike Gundy, he's gone. It's not a sexy spot for me anymore to be like, oh, cool. Like, they would be fun if they were like in the old Big 12. I don't know. Like, I was hoping that I wanted to see what the kid from North Texas would have got, like what he would have done at Texas, and I wanted to see what the quarterback from North Texas would have done like on the open market, and they just went to Oklahoma State. I think that's just me being like selfish in my reaction. From a disappointing standpoint versus like they're winning the portal. Who do you think is doing the best? Because I feel like there is a right answer.
I mean, Indiana's killing it.
Dude, I don't
have you seen like Indiana? Dude, Indiana picked up TCU's quarterback, who was listening to a pod earlier today. I think it might have been Josh Pate and the Bussin' with the Boys guys, and they were talking about how Fernando Mendoza, also transfer portal QB, ran the most RPO plays this year out of any quarterback. Second was Josh Hoover. So it's like a perfect fit. He's talented kid. And then they picked up a really good receiver. I want to say they picked up Nick Marsh from Michigan State.
They picked up that running back from Boston College.
Indiana comes to mind. Obviously, Texas Tech. Was his name Turbo?
Turbo.
There's a guy named Turbo. But anyways, Turbo Man. I don't know. Outside of them, obviously, Texas Tech still making moves. They got the number 1 D lineman in the portal. They obviously got Sorsby. What about you? Who's sticking out for you? I saw Bama picked up Hollywood Smothers. That's a cool name.
Yeah. Somebody made like a masterful post the other day that was like, "Who does this remind you of?" Like I've seen that. That's become like a big thing on Twitter now that you can get paid, which is like, this is something that happened in Latvia when people push back on the regime or some weird shit. It's like, what stands out to you the most? And like, I don't fucking know. Just tell me the answer. Just like, so somebody posted Hollywood Smothers. They're like, which back does this remind you of the most? There is a right answer. And I was like, I've never felt dumber. I've never felt dumber in my life. I have no fucking clue who it is. And then I was like, oh, it's probably Jahmyr Gibbs. And everyone was like, it's somebody else. I was like, fuck, thank God I didn't say anything. Parlay P, you can donate to the show. We accept blank checks, not blank checks. Send us a check for $11 like my grandma did. I don't think there's something we can't have super chat for some reason. I can't remember what it was. We have to have like,
yeah, I think you have to have enough subscribers.
Oh, cool. Okay. The answer for me is Ole Miss, and watching this back and forth with LSU and Ole Miss has been awesome because I wrote about this today, shameless plug, and I made the comment last night. It's like, it feels like Ole Miss is winning the breakup, and people got really mad about that because I think I said they're winning the breakup so far. And just let me just tell you guys what I mean by that, because it was hard for some people to understand. So when I said so far, I mean up until this point, seems like Ole Miss is doing pretty well. The amount of people that were like, they haven't even played the games yet. It's like, no shit. The timetable that I gave was the timetable we've currently lived and experienced so far all together. I think everyone assumed LSU was going to get Kiffin. He was going to come to town, and it was just going to be like, we're kicking the fucking door in. We're getting any player we want in the portal. I'm bringing whoever the fuck I want from Ole Miss, and we are going to go in here and just be immediately everything we thought they were going to be under Brian Kelly and more. And the irony of that is that, like, one of the things people said about Brian Kelly so much when he was here was everyone kind of assumed it felt like he just kind of had this assumption, well, I'm a great coach. Ed Orgeron succeeded there and won a national title. Of course I'll be able to win at LSU because, like, I'm such a better coach than Coach O. He kind of rested on his laurels. I don't think he recruited as hard, and he just kind of assumed that this was all just going to work out because of all the things in place. It kind of feels like that's what a lot of LSU fans and people around the program assume is going to happen too, on top of Ole Miss probably losing to Georgia and being out. And Tyler, I'm telling you right now, I've made the trip from Baton Rouge to New Orleans for the Sugar Bowl. I was there in the press box with several people from national media and then also from the LSU media that were like, yeah, I'm just here because at 11 tonight, midnight on the East Coast, the portal opens and it's going to be so weird because Ole Miss is obviously going to lose. And then are they going to start recruiting the players in the locker room? Is Charlie Weiss and Kevin Smith, are they going to try to bring Kewan Lacey with them? And that was like you thought the countdown the night before on New Year's Eve was big. Every LSU person I know was just like, all right, as soon as this game's over, like, floodgates are open. We're getting everybody we want. Kewan Lacey, Trinidad Chambliss, all that shit. And them winning that game threw a wrench in so many plans. And it also made LSU come out and be like, well, now we have to look elsewhere for the quarterback. And they thought they were going to get the running back. I think they didn't want to pay what Ole Miss is paying. And Ole Miss is in this really interesting spot because it's like, I think you're going to see this a lot from teams that are spurned or teams that are like, they have like a black eye from like a coaching change or someone leaving, especially. And this is like a anomaly of a scenario, but like your supporters aren't going to just roll over and die and be like, well, fuck this. I guess we'll just go back to being mediocre. It's like, no, like let's figure out a way. If we're already winning, I don't want that to stop. Like how much do we have to give for this thing to keep going? Also, how much do we have to give to make sure that Kiffin like gets pegged by the portal?
Succeed.
Right. Like, so it's like, why would I not? And so you've seen this, like, I think influx of money and like willingness to spend because they want to win. They want to win the breakup, which makes a lot of sense. And I think what he's been able to do, like off the bat, and being able to get like some of these players to stay, and the retention that he's had on top of getting players to come in already. What a fucking start for Pete Golding, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, so you were at the game. That game was insane.
It was awesome. They wheeled the fucking stage off 3 times, Tyler. And then at the end of the night, I left at 1:30 in the morning. It was just off. It was just still on the fucking field. They're like, there's no chance. We're not taking this thing back off. We're done. See you later.
So how happy were the Ole Miss fans? I mean, you get retribution over Georgia first and foremost, but then you're down in Louisiana, just stole your coach, and you win in Louisiana. I mean, nobody expected them to win that game. Like, of course, the game was close the first time around, but the circumstances around the game this time were completely different. Georgia has looked a lot better, since that game, and obviously Ole Miss lost their head coach. And it's just like the perfect way to stick it to Kiffin. Like I love how it's like Kiffin had to leave Ole Miss to win a championship. He had to, and it would be so funny if in the same year that he left, they won championship.
Well, I mean, like,
so good,
dude. Everyone's on the Indiana thing is an awesome story, but outside of Indiana, there's no one in the country that's not pulling for Ole Miss. I mean, they've become like America's team. It's awesome. So to answer your question and kind of go back to it, like I felt like going into that game, it was going to be around 70-30 crowd split because it's closer for Ole Miss. I know how Georgia fans operate to an extent because they're similar to Bama fans in a lot of ways. They just have higher SAT scores. And it's like, you've been here 1,000 times. And in this day and age where it's like, you got to go to the SEC championship and then you got to go to fucking Phoenix. And then you got to go to Miami. And then so it's like a trip to New Orleans sounds great, but it is January 1st. You went there last year. Ole Miss is in celebration mode. Of course they're going to show up. So seeing the crowd split like what it was wasn't a surprise to me. But the first half played out exactly like I thought it would. It was Georgia is going to flex their muscle. They're the better team. And what's weird too, Tyler, is we talked about this on one of our episodes beforehand, which was like, it was like we didn't talk about Ole Miss a lot. Like it was just kind of like, yeah, they're pretty good. And like the pretty good was like, well, they're fucking 11-1 for the first time in program history. They're 1 quarter away from being 12-0. Like, I mean, like they were a very good football team, and we all just kind of like, yeah, but it's Ole Miss, it's just whatever. And I went into that game like not hoping Georgia was going to win. Like I have more Georgia fans than Ole Miss fans. Just like I just thought that I just knew that Georgia was going to win. Like I just knew that Georgia was going to win, and it was unbelievable to watch how it unfolded because all the things that Kirby has done forever that makes him such a good coach, which is like halftime adjustments, being prepared, not overthinking stuff, like on 3rd and 4th down, like all of those things, Ole Miss did. And Georgia fucking blinked and then continued to blink. And then I think it's probably fair to say they kind of pissed on their leg a little bit. And they let Ole Miss come right back in that game. And that kicker is the best kicker in the history of college football. For what? Like that was unbelievable. And then what was crazy was we got down on the field, man, and it was like the Sugar Bowl is like very old school where it's like in the post-game presser, you're not allowed to film anything on your phone. You have to have a microphone. Like, yeah, what do you think about old Hopalong Cassidy there in the 4th quarter, bringing the troops back home? And you're like,
yeah, see,
yeah, sir, you got to put the cigar out. All right, it's a baby. And so like it's like so it was weird because they were like, all right, you can go on the field, but no one leave this area. And so as it was counting down, they're telling us, they're like, no one on the field unless you have a green badge. If you have a blue badge, you stay on the sideline behind this yellow line. And I'm sitting there next to Chris Gordy, and I was like, they're not gonna what are they gonna fucking do? Like, are they gonna kick us out? Good. I'll go home. It's fucking late. I've been here all day. Like, so I just walked out on the field, and just the elation from the players, the elation from the fans. It was like, Tyler, it was so hard not to be happy for all of them. I shit on Ole Miss fans for their like everyone dressed like a Vineyard Vines mannequin. I was very Ole Miss coded. I wore like a button down and a vest.
The hair game was good though.
Hair game was not where it needs to be, but it was not bad. And I appreciate that.
Right,
That's a very nice.
So you could elevate from that, huh?
I mean, it's just, look at this right now. It just needs a haircut. It's so thick on this side. I don't love it. But
wow. You're just showing off in front of me and Booza because we don't have hair.
My bad. More like Balza. Eddie, hold on. Do you get it? Eddie. Where's he at? Eddie. Okay, he gets it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was awesome. It was awesome to see. They didn't want to leave. And it was so awesome to watch. And I was happy for him, man. I was because I think it wasn't that we all thought something was going to happen. We all knew they were going to lose, and they fucking didn't. And I hope they win the national championship.
It's crazy because we talked about the first half playing out like that, just like it did in the first game, where Ole Miss will keep it close, but you trust Kirby in these in any game really to make the decisions and the right execution and plays to get it done in the end. No matter how it looks, Georgia usually finds a way, and that's what we said leading up to it. And it was the exact opposite in the second half, of course. Well, do you want to get into the two games that we have remaining until the championship?
Well, do you want to talk about? Oh boy,
January 6th. Yeah. Do we want to remember it?
Should we talk about this? Or, guys, listen. Let's do a chat roulette. Do you guys want to talk about this, or do you guys want to talk about
Somalian fraud? Yeah. Still a lot going on in the Somalian game these days.
Is there? Hey, Tim Walz is not running for anything. Can I just say one thing? It's not about politics or anything. Yeah, I swear to God, it's not. But Tim Walz resigning from, or like, say, I'm not going to run, and then went to Culver's, bro. That I've never related to someone more. And he was like, you know what? I quit my job and I went and fucking loaded up on fast food. Like, hell yeah, Tim. Hell yeah, bro.
Dude. Marco Rubio is now Venezuela. Yeah, he's the president. Marco Rubio is the president of Venezuela now.
What is? Okay, let's also say, I'm trying to I don't want to make Booza uncomfortable, even though I love making Booza uncomfortable. But the White House social media team is unhinged at best. It's absurd. And sometimes it's really funny, but sometimes it's like, whoa, rein it the fuck in, guys. And this past week, they played the song from Biggie and just dropping the N-word on the open timeline. Like, it was like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah. I don't know who's running that White House account on Twitter, but it has to be like a 23 to 25-year-old person.
What if it's Trump? What if it's just Trump? Like, you guys, hey, did you see what I did here? Did you see what I did here? Did you not use the edited song? Who cares? We're bringing it back. We're bringing back Christmas and then being able to say words out of your car while you're rapping.
That's the show. Biggie, great song.
I don't have an opinion on Venezuela, Tyler. I will tell you that if I hear one more person that lives not in Venezuela tell me why I should be upset about Venezuela, I'm going to have a hard time buying into it. That's all I have to say.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right, Indiana, Oregon.
Fuck
Peach Bowl.
This is going to be awesome. This game is going to be awesome.
These teams obviously met earlier this year.
Sexually.
And they met sexually. They gingerly touched each other's tips. And Indiana came out victorious. They were a 7-point underdog, I want to say, on the road and ended up winning by 10. And they didn't lose that game, and they didn't lose any other games. Still undefeated.
Yeah.
Looking arguably stronger as the season goes on. There may have been, outside of that Oregon game, there may have been some question about, hey, did they play a good enough schedule? But I think that's all been put to rest now that they beat Ohio State and Alabama back-to-back. Yeah.
I don't have that question. I definitely did last year.
Yeah. Yeah, no, not anymore. But I think, when you went down their schedule, like as compared to like a Georgia or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
You're like, okay, well, they played Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, Indiana State, Illinois, Michigan State, UCLA, Maryland, Wisconsin, Purdue. You're like, oh, Jesus. I mean,
Yeah.
but they did have the big road victory against Oregon. And then, like I said, Ohio State and Alabama. So they play Oregon again. The spread is currently Indiana -3.5. Total is 46.5. You want to bet Oregon on the money line plus 150?
That's
But
low.
that is. Because you think you're stopping this wagon right now? Big Netty?
Dude.
Come on.
He's so unintentionally funny. Just
I know. Yeah,
the fucking look he's giving. It's just like, also, listen, real quick, man. I don't want to get too much into the game, but I do want to shout out Kalen DeBoer for kicking that field goal. I really thought that was going to turn things around. And then also the fourth down where he like lined up like he was going to like punt it, but then like maybe he was not going to punt it. And then he was like, you know what? I am going to punt it. And then he's like, but tricky. Ty Simpson's back here. We're not going to punt it. And then he came back out after that and was like, never mind, not going to punt it just to get your fucking shit pushed in on 4th and 1. That was tough to watch. Indiana's awesome. Indiana's awesome. It's very tough to beat a team twice.
It is.
I just, what impressed me most of Indiana, and I really, if we're being honest, I feel like you take pieces of the Alabama game and you say, yeah, this is really impressive, but like Oregon is not Alabama. Like we talked about this when Alabama got in. I thought they deserved to get in. I thought there was a very clear-cut ceiling above them of who they could beat, who they couldn't beat. And I thought that ceiling was everyone 1 through 5. And that was Oregon, Texas Tech, Indiana, Ohio State, and Georgia. I think Dan Lanning has done a really good job. He's a really good motivator. He's like the pregame stuff. Did you see the video where he like brought up the schedule of Texas Tech to his team?
No, I didn't. I want to see it though.
In the hotel, he was like, look at this fucking schedule. Who's been tested? Who's been battle tested? Look at this fucking schedule. It was like, good Lord, dude. I think he's going to have them ready. I think I expect them to come out and kind of punch Indiana in the mouth and try to like make them hold serve. Dude, I looked at what Indiana did at Alabama. You got to keep in mind, man, like there's been 8 teams that had a bye in the 2 years of the 12-team playoff. 7 of them lost. Yeah. One of them won by 35. Well, I mean, one of them came out and it was like, I told you what I thought was going to happen if, like, taking the fan side out of it was like, hey, Indiana's going to, if they can prove a point, they will. And they went up 17-0, and they got a 3-and-out, and they got the ball back, and they were like, they had a 10-play drive. 8 of the first 9 plays were running the ball down Bama's fucking throat, and it was 3rd and 1, 17-0 game, and I'm sitting there miserable as shit in this Sugar Bowl media room, and I was like, they can't stop them from running the ball. They're going to run for 4 to 7 yards. This is not even like, because Gordy was like, why aren't you up? And I was like, because they can't stop it. And instead of handing it off, which they still would have gotten the first down, they threw it to a wide open guy that was for a 24-yard touchdown. They are so fundamentally sound. They don't make mistakes. Mendoza had 2 incompletions, I think, the entire day.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, man. It's tough to beat a team twice. They went on the road and beat them by 10. And so I just look at what Indiana's doing right now, and I think Cignetti has them so laser focused. And I will base this entire pick off the quote that Cignetti had before they played Alabama. Because before that game, I was trying to do my best to be delusional and say that Bama had a chance. And then they stuck a microphone in front of Cignetti's face, and Brett McMurphy said, how do you figure out a way to coach this team against the mystique of Alabama? And he said, I think you guys might have the mystique thing. All my guys know is what they see on tape. And I was like, fuck, we are so fucked. Like, so fucked. I like Indiana to win. I like them to cover. I do think it'll be a really good game, but like I don't think anyone can beat them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking Indiana to win for sure. I find the line interesting.
Yeah.
It basically says that on a neutral field, Indiana's like a half-point favorite. They're basically even.
Are they a 3.5-point favorite on a neutral field?
That's true. That's fair.
But hold on. I do want to tell you this, Tyler. Let me give you a tidbit of information that I don't think people know a lot of. Oregon wins their first game at home. They got to go to Miami. Their fans now have to go to Atlanta. If they win that, they got to go to Miami again. They are already the most traveled team in the country. I don't think it'll affect the team that much. But you and I, two coordinators, right? Indiana does not have a coordinator leaving, if I'm not mistaken. But here's the other thing too that no one's talking about, and it's a little tidbit of information I've had in my back pocket, pegging me like the portal for weeks now. Do you know where the single largest alumni base for Indiana is in the United States of America?
I'm going to guess it's Atlanta.
Indianapolis, but Atlanta's number 2. And it is going to, I think this is going to be like an 80-20 split for fans. I think this is going to be like, and here's the other thing too, Tyler. Oregon's like they're still trying to get there and win the big one and all that kind of shit. But like they went to the Rose Bowl last year. They were the number 1 team in the country last year. They went to Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship. There is something different, as you know, just as well as I do. Not Eddie, because he's fucking stupid. But like, there's something to be said for, hey, this is our very first time getting to experience this. I don't want to, not to quote Aerosmith, but I don't want to miss a fucking thing during this run. And I think Indiana fans have been in the fucking wilderness for so long that they're like, I mean, fuck yeah, we'll go to Atlanta after going to the Rose Bowl, and then we'll go to Miami too. Like, who fucking cares? Like, this is like, we've been waiting our entire existence for this.
Yeah. Oh, and the team, like, how could you not have confidence in that team? I mean, they looked, it's one thing to say like, yeah, you guys beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. Like, that was an unbelievable experience. But then to come out against Bama and not only back it up, but like pretty much look flawless. I mean, they went 3 and out, I believe, to start the game. And then I think they scored on 6 of the next 7 drives.
I turned it off after that. But yeah, they went 3 and out and gave up 2 sacks on the first drive. I was like, okay.
Oh boy. Can't wait to hear about this from Chris next week on the pod.
Well, I would have been insufferable. Yeah. But I also like, dude, here was the thing that was so impressive to me, which was like, they could have run the ball every single play, and Bama couldn't have stopped it. They pretty much did. They only
what he threw.
But it was stuff like they broke Ty Simpson's rib, and he fumbled, and then they do what really good teams do, which was like, keep in mind that game was 3-0. That game was 3-0 in the second quarter, and it was like feeling pretty good. What are you laughing about? And
Music queued up.
Fuck yeah, dude. Well, animal crackers. Tyler, you don't. If we do this pod next year, I will put animal crackers on your stomach every episode.
Well, I've got some at the house right now.
Animal crackers?
Yeah.
I was never a big. I don't think I was a big fan of those. I think it was graham crackers. Weren't those like the animal ones?
No, these are shaped like animals.
Great, dude. That was such an underrated part of my depression when I lived with Rich. Was they had 2 young kids, and so like the snack cabinet was fucking awesome. The pantry, I would just tiptoe in there like a cat burglar at night. That's probably why he didn't like me.
Rich is a great friend, by the way. Now that I've got 2 kids that are like at an age where like it seems impossible to keep up with them, I can't imagine having like a buddy living with me while I'm doing that.
Thanks, dude. Did he pay you to say that? Because he hasn't talked to me in like 3 years. Okay. No, Rich, he was a great friend. He was a really good friend. We'll talk about it sometime. Well, he hasn't talked to me anymore. He was very upset.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's
Rich, we need you back, buddy.
In a while. Yeah, Rich, we got to bring you back. He was on the pod a couple times. He was great.
Yeah, he was good on the pod too.
Yeah, he messaged me during the Bama game. Well, he messaged our group thread of all of our college friends, which has been super awkward because everyone's like, "Are you guys gonna be friends again?" I'm like, we'll see. And then
people started talking about your relationship in the thread.
What?
Like people started talking about your
like, hey, are you guys gonna fucking speak again? And then like I'm not gonna get into this. All of it's my fault. This will shock you, Tyler. But the person I was in 2021 and 2022 was not a great person, and it was very clearly my fault. But also, it's like, buddy, it's been 5 years. We gotta fucking move on. Anyway, I think Indiana wins. The moral of this entire story is you got to let go of the past. And that's what Indiana's going to do in Atlanta. One of the worst cities in the world. Also,
dude,
pop quiz for both of
Yeah.
you. Bring Eddie in here.
Okay.
Get your fucking ass in here, Eddie. God damn it, Eddie.
Nope.
Why do you
Yeah,
keep
goes
doing
perfect.
this? Which fruit snacks do you guys like better? Mott's or Welch's?
Welch's.
You're fucking
Yeah, I'm a
insane.
Welch's guy myself.
You guys are fucking stupid. Mott's are so much better. I'm pretty sure there's no nutritional value, but they're so good. All right,
No,
thanks, Eddie.
yeah, I don't
See you
think
later,
Welch's
dude.
has any nutrition value either. But yeah, I'm gonna take
Someone-
Indiana as well. I do find the total to be interesting because Oregon is averaging about 36 points a game,
Yeah.
and the total is like 46. So to me, that makes me think that Vegas thinks this is Indiana's game to not only win, but to also play at the style that they like to play. Because their defense, we've talked a lot about their offense.
Yeah.
Dude, their defense is incredible too.
You know,
I mean, their defense is unbelievable.
who, Indiana?
Yeah.
Dude, it's so stupid. They are so fucking fundamentally sound in everything they do. I brought this up in the last show, and I don't think Simpson threw an interception or anyone threw an interception, but going into the last game, the weakness or like the least impressive statistical thing about their defense was the defense allowed there was their secondary. But the secondary allowed like 7 passing touchdowns all year and had 17 interceptions. They were plus 17 in the turnover margin going into the Bama game. They left it plus 18. It's the best in the country, right? Like they don't allow explosive plays. One of the guys in their secondary that was like the weak link, he had allowed like 40 yards after the catch all season. Like they're just so good everywhere. I will say this: if you're talking about Oregon, I love Oregon to be an underdog here because Oregon's in a situation where like looking at what they're able to do offensively and defensively, it's very impressive. They're kind of like Ole Miss out in the Pacific Northwest, where we just haven't really talked about them that much. They're sitting there at 13-1. Obviously the loss to Indiana. Again, hard to beat a team twice. But the money line thing is what throws me off the most here, for one. And then two, Oregon came out and started they were the first game of the day for the quarterfinals and beat the shit out of the number 4 team in the country. A team that we had talked about has like, yeah, Texas Tech is good enough to win a national championship. They dismantled them. Like Dante Moore. We talk about how good Fernando Mendoza is. Dante Moore was potentially going to be a Heisman finalist. He is potentially going to be a number 1 overall pick. He's the second best odds to be the number 1 overall pick in the draft this year. And if anything could have played out better for Dan Lanning to get his team motivated and to also not to avoid being pat on the back, you go win 23-0 in the fucking playoff, and it gets not just overshadowed, but monstrously overshadowed by Indiana beating the brakes off of Alabama. You're in a great spot because now everyone is patting Indiana on the back.
You do. If you're an Oregon fan, you gotta love that basically nobody's respecting you right now. I mean,
yeah.
The fact of the matter is that they still only have 1 loss, and that's to Indiana. I did see earlier today that Jordan Davison, who is Oregon's running back, 15 touchdowns on the year, is out for this game. So something to watch. He doesn't have the most carries or touches on the team, but 15 touchdowns now off the board for Oregon in this game. So that's something to watch there as well. I'm going to take 24-20 Indiana. I think it's a low-scoring game. I like both defenses. I just think that Indiana is going to have Oregon play right into what they want. And I think they're going to come out going to the championship, and I'm praying it's against Ole Miss, which we're going to talk about now.
Whatever the first quarter spread is, I'm going to take Oregon. I'm going to talk myself back into our bet that we hit like one time 3 years ago, and then I've just every time we get a big game, we're like, dude, what about Oregon leading at halftime, Indiana winning the game? I think it plays out almost similar to like the first Bama Georgia game, where it's like I think Oregon probably comes out pretty crisp early. I think Indiana will be good on script, but I like Oregon to take a lead and play like very inspired. And I just think that over the 60 minutes, Indiana will figure out a way to win the game. So I think it'll be high scoring in the first half and then not in the second half. Yeah.
Oh no. Why the sudden demeanor change?
LSU, I'm so over the portal, dude. They had a player from South Gwinnett High School that was committed to is between LSU and South Carolina, and he committed South Carolina, and then he decommitted, went to LSU, and then he entered the portal yesterday, and now he's back with he's back with LSU today. It's like, how many goddamn graphics do I have to make?
And it is all about you. So
there you go. Thank you.
All right. Last game here.
Thanks,
I can't
Rich.
believe it. We're down to the last few games of the year. This one is on Thursday. It is the Fiesta Bowl in Glendale, Arizona. Miami versus Ole Miss. Miami currently 3.5 point favorite. Total 51.5. If you want to take Ole Miss on the money line, plus 145. Ole Miss leads the all-time series 2-1. So Miami a great chance to tie the all-time series with Ole Miss.
Yeah.
All three meetings were in Miami. The last one was 75 years ago. So it means a lot to these two teams.
75 years ago.
1951?
1951. Yes. They
Like,
also
we
played
all
in
remember that
1940
game.
and 1936.
I bet Miami's team looked different then.
I bet. Like different colors or team colors?
Yeah. I think they probably just look different. Thanks, Eddie.
Okay.
Look at Eddie.
Oh, hot dogging around here. There's the Hurricanes playing Smash Mouth football.
Oh man. All right. So these are the two surprise teams of the that have made it this far.
Hold on. Did you see today when Stephen A. Smith brought up how difficult it would be for Pete Golding to get black players to come to Ole Miss, to Oxford, Mississippi? Just out loud. Just said it out loud. Like, we made some tongue-in-cheek poor jokes, but that he was just like, here's my question. How you gonna get? Like, stop it, Stephen A. Tell me your take. Tell me what you see this, because you're more familiar with Miami than most people. And I think Ole Miss, they've got to be. I think everyone's pulling for Ole Miss, Indiana. What do you think about this? And don't say just because you hate Miami.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely pulling for Ole Miss, but
yeah,
I think Miami's going to win this game. Miami's defense, especially right now, is the best remaining like overall unit out of any in the playoffs. I mean, they suffocated Ohio State. Texas A&M, who's lighting up the scoreboard all year, scored 3 points against them at home.
Right.
And they haven't been great on offense, but they've made the plays when they've had to. And I just think their defense is built to contain mobile quarterbacks, because that D-line is just, it's extremely good. I mean, this is, I hate talking positively about Miami, but this is what Mario Cristobal, this is his thing. He's always built his teams from the trenches, and their D-line specifically, but their O-line's very good as well. Reuben Bain Jr., Akeem Mesidor, two really good players. They sacked Julian Sand twice. They had 2 INTs, including that pick 6 on a screen pass.
That was wild.
Like, they're playing with a lot of confidence. But on the other side, how could you not root for Ole Miss? I mean, what a story. We've already talked about that. I don't want to miss a thing in this game. I do think, though, Ole Miss's streak, I think they've scored 30-plus points. Is it in all of their games this year?
That sounds like it's high.
They've at least scored 30 in 8 straight games.
Jesus,
I think that's going to come to an end in this one.
Yeah.
Ole Miss, their D is, I think, much better than Ole Miss's. Miami's is much better than Ole Miss's. Now, Ole Miss's offense is better, certainly, than Miami's offense, but I think Miami's starting to come into their own on offense. I mean, let's give them some credit. I know 7 of the points were off of pick 6, but they did put a decent number up on Ohio State, which not a lot of people have done this year, including Indiana. So the total is what do we have? 51.5.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the 20. I want to go 28-24 Miami. Cover, and that would be barely an under.
I'm going to have a hard time not picking.
All right, I'll go over then.
Okay. I'm going to have a hard time not
Miami
picking
in the over.
I like
I
the
mean,
under. I like the under. I like Miami's team total under as well. And I'll tell you why. I think Miami's really good. I think it's been really good for the playoff in general for them to make a run, so we don't have to hear about like the SMU shit last year, which is like, well, of course they should have been in the playoff. Like they have been great. They are a very good football team. We keep talking about Carson Beck and what Carson Beck does in big moments, and it hasn't happened yet. But I tell you what, Tyler, when's the last time Carson Beck played Ole Miss? Last year. He did play him in 2023, but in 2024 against Pete Golding's defense, they got their ass beat. They got beat 28-10. And I think we keep waiting for the Carson Beck we all know rears its ugly head all the time. Seriously, ugly head. It is a terrible looking head.
Terrible head.
But he has been really good so far, and I'm not wishing anything negative on him. I just feel like he's due for that game where it's like, shit, I threw into double coverage or triple coverage, and one of my players didn't come down with a miraculous catch. Dude, the Notre Dame game, if that kid doesn't make that miraculous one-handed catch in triple coverage, the entire fate of their season is very, very different. I think Ole Miss is playing with a shit ton of confidence right now. I hope that they're focused. They seem like they are. Miami is just kind of laying in the weeds. They seemed also very focused. And also, I love the fact that people keep, for whatever reason, choose to doubt Ruben Bain. That is a fucking mistake every single time it happens. I was most impressed, or not even impressed, surprised last week for Ole Miss at what they were able to do in key moments against Georgia. It wasn't like they were elite and suffocating for 60 straight minutes. But at times, when they needed it most, they were able to bow their neck and be very, very good, and then force Georgia into mistakes and stop them on key downs. You're right. Miami's offense hasn't been stellar in the postseason. They've played one really good defense, then also A&M on the road. I just think at some point, Carson Beck, that we all know, shows up. And I don't know if there's a quarterback outside of Mendoza that's playing better football and more confident football than Trinidad Shambles has since he became the starter. So I think you're going to see a game from him where Kewan Lacey is going to get shut down. You're not going to run on this defense. He's going to get shut down. I do think that Trinidad Shambles is going to have to do more with his legs in this game to put them in a position to win. But I think he will. And I think that this thing keeps fucking rolling down to Miami. And part of that breaks my heart because I wanted to see Miami get to play a game in their home stadium with more than 1,300 fans for once. But I think that Ole Miss
never going to happen.
Never going to happen. I think this thing keeps going, and I think Ole Miss, and Indiana play for the national championship. And I tell you what, Tyler, I think it's fucking great for the sport. I think like,
Yeah,
I'm jacked up about that because I think I am worried about the dry climate and the heat for Michael Irvin, because he's going to get real dried out. That's the humidity has never slowed him down because of the amount of cocaine that I feel like he ingests. So maybe he really gets it going. Maybe he burns out early because he's not having the same kind of effects.
Yeah, look, I don't think that old Mike has recovered from the addiction. Seems like it's still going these days. It's allegedly. I mean,
Mama didn't raise no quitter. I'll tell you that.
That's true. Here's what I'm a little bit worried about with my pick for Miami is
who's
the crystal ball constantly getting conservative if they get a lead, and blowing it at the end of a game. Like I think he almost has to do what is the opposite of what is in his nature, which is like keep the pedal to the metal, maybe even run tempo on Ole Miss. Like, because eventually Ole Miss is going to break through and score, and like you're going to have to match them, I think, on offense a little bit, unless you're just getting turnovers, which could happen. But I'll take Miami 28-24, and I hope I'm dead wrong.
I'll take Ole Miss 28-24. Also, two things. One person who's not going to close his eyes and miss a thing is Michael Irvin because of the aforementioned cocaine.
He literally can't physically shut them.
No. Can we talk about how Mario Cristobal, he's always like this in his post game? He's built like an inflatable Santa. Like he's just always leaned forward a little bit too much, and I don't think it's on purpose. I think it's just like he holds his posture like the way that a bear rubbing his back against a tree would, where he's just like, yeah. This is my spine does this. Everyone's back does this.
He needs a brassiere, I think is the term.
Hell yeah, dude. Mario Cristobal. Mario Cristobal. Fuck yeah.
I'm gonna get these jokes off because Miami's in a much better spot than my alma mater, but
Fair.
He also seems very dumb. Anytime the camera like pans to him, he's always like,
first things first.
Gotta be physical.
Had to do a take. Hey, by the way, give me a fucking second. Hey, by the way, like you're in the middle of a fucking interview. Like it's happened almost every time. He's like, yeah. Hey, don't leave. You're like, it's like a buddy that's like just got to a party, and you're like, hey, dude, how you been? Hey, give me a fucking second, Brad. Like, okay. What do you think, Eddie?
He loses.
I'm doing the thing. You
doing the chest thing?
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing the thing. It looks good.
Electric stuff.
It's gonna go real well in the audio version.
We should get that guy from Instagram on the pod because
we got to.
He might be.
Did we mention on the pod that Buzo blessed us with a cameo from that guy, and he sent like a 15-minute video?
It was so funny at first, and then I realized it was 9 minutes and 8 seconds of him being like, "What you're gonna want to do?" He uses his tongue too much to say words. He's like, "What you're gonna want to do is when her clitoris is," and you're like, "Stop." What's it? Drop his fucking @ so he can get some followers, and people just can know what we're talking about for the love of God.
Yeah, what's his name? Kurt. Fuck it, doesn't matter. We'll say it next time. All right, guys.
Hey, here's
enjoy the weekend
on Instagram before we close out. We'll have a topic for next time. I want you guys like and share, smash that like button. Former NFL offensive tackle, NFL offensive tackle Matt Khalil is suing his ex-wife Haley Khalil for invasion of privacy after she claimed they divorced because of his enormous penis size. These are all relatable things, and I'm happy for everyone. What's up, Christopher Moss?
Oh, what's up, Chris Moss? First time at a live show, huh? Disappointed in you, buddy. Oh, this was the guy that texted me and said he really appreciated your Asian accent a few weeks ago.
I know, yeah. Shouldn't have done that so often, but we'll do it again.
All right, everybody, enjoy the games this weekend, and we'll be back to preview the national championship, hopefully between Indiana and Ole Miss. Peace.
Happy New Year.